What is up, App Nation? It is Steve P. Young, founder of appmasters.com, the place you go when you want action-packed content related to helping you grow your app downloads, and more importantly, that's why you're here, your revenues. And today we've got an interesting topic that we're going to break down to show you what's really working from an ASO perspective, especially some of the Black Hat ASO strategies. And today's guest just gave a presentation about this. We've booked this long ago, so she's actually on vacation, but she's still joining us. But I'm super excited to talk to her. Her name is Natalie Drozd. She is the UA lead at Fabulous. You guys have to check out the app. It is a self-improvement, self-care, habit coaching type of app. And we've talked about this in previous live streams, but here is Fabulous as well. Go check it out there. But Natalie, welcome to the show.
Hi, so happy to be here and be part of the show. Speaking from France, originally from Ukraine, and as like UA lead at Fabulous. My pleasure to be here and share my knowledge with you.
Thefabulous.co, or obviously it's in app stores, and you guys are always in the top charts. I always see you guys up there. So phenomenal job. Congrats. I know you have a big part to do with it, Natalie.
Oh, I just like what we're doing. Honestly, we do a lot of, like, first of all, we are in top charts because the product is good and people retain, love, and go back. But at the same time, our marketing team, especially user acquisition team, does a lot of different activities to make sure new people learn about the app and to keep sure that people who are our former users return back as well. We work hard on leveraging the power of mobile acquisition plus web. I have already discussed it on previous call, like the sessions. But what I would really love to talk today more is basically Black Hat ASO. And just spoiler alert, Fabulous doesn't do Black Hat ASO, but it's more for my career as ASO consultant, where I had to deal with some consequences of using Black Hat ASO, and sometimes a lot of funny stories to share.
Okay. Well, where do you want to start? Because I've got some funny stories to share myself. So, but where do you want to start with? Talk to me about where you want to start with Black Hat ASO.
Do you still hear me well?
Yeah, I can still hear you. Okay.
Oh, okay, cool, good. So, well, first of all, it exists, and it exists a lot. There are different, I'll be a little bit technical. When it comes to ASO, there are basically two main goals, or two main things you have to do to increase your visibility and increase conversion. And it is done on different levels. It is done with different activities. And there are good techniques and there are bad techniques. Everything which I call bad is something that goes against extra policies. So something that bends the rule and breaks for competition. So Black Hat ASO exists from trying to break the algorithm to make you appear high in search results, to improving conversion rate by creating fake reviews to have a fake sense of actually good application. Everything depends
Let's see if Natalie comes back. All right. We're going to wait until she comes back, but I want to say hi to a few people while we do that as well. I'm going to say hi to Noah. What's happening? You're the first one here. We've got Jay. I don't know what you're talking about, Jay. Okay, but Simo, a great thank you to Steve from Morocco. Awesome. And then Supgrow, what's happening, my friend? We've got Adrian, AppMates, Yash, Elmir, Edwin. Okay, I talked to you, Edwin, on Instagram. Joe says, hey, all, is anybody experiencing problems with App Store Connect not propagating IP prices? Couldn't do 2 apps, gone free because prices never change. Oh, that's interesting, Joe. You might want to actually just do it a couple of days in advance. And Joe, you can actually schedule it. So maybe just do it 1 day in advance, set it for free, and do it that way. And then Rassi says, I should be out enjoying myself. I was just saying hi to a few people, Natalie, as I was waiting for you to come back. Rassi says I should be out enjoying myself with friends, but fam, Fridays with App Masters. That's what fam stands for, comes first. And then Mark. What's happening, Mark? Okay. So you kind of left off with talking about how Black Hat ASO strategies are more about hacking the algorithms, and then kind of lost you there. You're still on mute, by the way. No, I still can't hear you unless it's me. So you guys put in the comments if it's me or if it's Natalie, but I can't hear you, Natalie. No, I still can't hear you. All right, let's see if Natalie comes back up. You keep trying. Okay, it looks like it is Nat. Cool. She'll come back. All right. So while we wait for Nat, I can share with you guys some of the Black Hat ASO strategies that are things that you should absolutely avoid. Okay. So number one is reviews. Don't buy reviews. Do not buy reviews. It is not worth it. We've gotten a few people we've either worked with or we are like, I've heard from others too, that Apple has sent a notice and they just essentially said, hey, we know you're buying reviews, stop buying reviews. So reviews, do not buy anymore. Back in 2015, I discovered a strategy that if you bought reviews and you put keywords in those reviews, you would actually get a increase in keyword rankings. But I would say do not buy reviews. So all right, Natalie, I was just kind of going into some of the things that you should absolutely avoid. There, let me see if I did something. I think I hear you
So,
now.
do you hear me now?
Yes,
Oh my god! Okay, like now I need some.
you did it.
Yeah. Yes, cool.
All right.
So you started talking about reviews. It's cool.
Yeah.
So first of all, uh, I was telling that like Black Hat ASO is something everyone's usually interested in, but not one, especially at conferences, doesn't like to talk about them because
Mm-hmm.
like like if you know about Black Hat ASO, very likely you do it. Like nobody wants to admit publicly that they do Black Hat ASO. While on the other hand, many people do it, and many companies and services exist. They do not even hide that they do Black Hat ASO. Do they just try to hide they it's called Black Hat ASO? Do you still hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can.
Cool. Yeah, because I lost you kind of basically. So the companies call it keyword optimization, visibility optimization, improving marketing for your keyword and keyword strategies. No matter how many fancy words they are, still, well, it's still Black Hat ASO because if you read the policies, if you know your thing, then like not knowing the rule does not prevent you from being responsible for bending the law. There are things that you can do at no cost. Basically, something it's playing with metadata, and it's Black Hat ASO, but it's not that. First of all, impactful, and secondly, punishment. Like you don't have much punishment for it. I mean, first thing that many people do is an IS when you put your competitors' keywords in your keyword metadata field.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is something many people do, and usually you do not have any punishment at all. But it's still actually a black hat technique because your keyword metadata field, according to Apple policies, is just for you to describe what your application is about its features. So if we all are good ASO practitioners, we should put their generic keywords from Apple search ads with the highest relevancy and search score, and to make sure that all of them create as many combinations for long tail keywords as possible. People don't do it all of the time, and why? Because, well, you rank higher for the competition, but not only, you can become more visible in similar apps, something which is kind of important, so your browse traffic increases as well. Uh, in my like 4 something years career in ASO, I had a version release rejected 2 times for doing that.
Oh,
Like the app reviewer was actually like very had a bad day because they found it. Like not all the keywords in the metadata field to reflect your app features. And okay, I mean it was just a
really?
rejection. Yeah,
Natalie, if I can interject a little bit, because I
of
am
course.
hearing from the comments that the background noise. So I'll try to summarize everything that you're saying. So you put the competitor keywords in your data metadata, is that for iOS just in the keyword fields, I imagine, or did you put it somewhere visible, like subtitle and title?
No, like subtitle and title is of course forbidden for sure, 100%. And if you put any brands, you're much more likely to get rejection. But it
Mm-hmm.
happened in the keyword field for metadata as well, because it's not allowed there as
Really?
well,
That's crazy.
like according to all the
Oh,
policies. It
okay.
doesn't happen all of the time. So as I said, like with many applications and many releases, it happened only twice. But if you have if app reviewer has a very bad day, they can find it as like a reason to send you to remake your build.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna mute Natalie a little bit. Sorry, Natalie, but the background noise is a little bit too much. So Natalie's just talking about, okay, the black hat strategy that is sort of black hat, right, Natalie? That you guys can deploy is using your competitors in your ASO, whether it's a keyword field. I've actually promoted talking about like having it in the Spanish Mexico. If you're going after the US localization, having the Spanish Mexico subtitle and title. So you guys can hide it there too. Sometimes the reviewers won't pay attention to it. And she's talking about that. Hey, Natalie, what I want to get a sense of too is I've actually found that from a competitor brand perspective, like let's say for you guys, maybe competitor might be, I'm just throwing it out there, so you correct me if I'm wrong, but like Reflectly, you're like, oh, hey, we kind of do the same stuff. We're going to go after them. But I found that from an ASA perspective, search ads, that might convert well for you guys. But from an ASO perspective, being number 2 for Reflectly doesn't really do much from a organic download perspective. Have you guys noticed something similar? Oops. Ooh, hold on one second. Sorry. I think we
Okay,
unmuted
yeah.
each other at the same time.
Okay, so I feel like honestly, the keywords. It sounds like an easy to go strategy because you rank higher for your competition and you get a lot of organic downloads, which is not true. Why? Because if you have a keyword which is your competition, most of the well-renowned applications have not only their app but also their purchases included in app metadata. Like so, there is a search
Mhm.
result which is Apple search ads, then there is the organic, then there is their purchase. Then
Yeah.
there may be featuring story, like if they were featured, like Reflectly or Calm or like anything big, and only then it
Right.
comes you're next. So honestly, being like rank number 2 is a vanity metric, especially becomes both stores are becoming more and more monetized through ads, both Apple Store and Google Play Store.
Mhm. Yeah.
And like getting back to your question about metadata and visible fields, if you use big brand names, you cannot use them just to use. Basically, you cannot say Tesla taxi. Oh yeah, this is the example of annual
Yeah,
subscription,
like look at
which
this. You got your ad, you got your the actual app, you got the subscription, and then you finally have this guy. So you're really like number 1, 2, 3, 4 on the search result. And we know most of it goes to the top 3 anyways. So probably not worth it to go after other brands here.
yeah, I mean, like people still like this strategy still works because if somebody doesn't like knows for sure they don't want to download Fabulous, even though they're searching for Fabulous. I don't know who does this, but there's definitely be
Right.
some traffic for number 2 ranking. But honestly, it's not worth it. You can use your metadata keywords for better stuff. Uh, and yeah, talking about visible fields, you cannot write, for example, Tesla drivers, like Tesla taxi, but you can write taxi for Tesla lovers, because in that case you're
Mm,
not just referring to brand but you're referring to kind of a feature that people who like Tesla, we're going to allow our taxi service because you ride on Tesla. Because if you write Tesla taxi, it's kind of branded, because it
yeah.
is you assume that this is Tesla who runs this taxi service when it's not. uh, so in that case, if you have some apps which are very, very specific to peculiar company, filters for Instagram, like a different example, or video editor for TikTok, like then there is a space for you to play around with this. But if you are like Fabulous, we the different problem with our in competition is that there are different applications, but they are not our direct competitors. We are not a meditation
Mm,
app. For that, you have Calm and Headspace. We are not a habit tracker like Reflectly or Dailyo, because their main feature is to track like your habits during day. We are the combination of wellness, self-care, and coaching, plus tracking, like a habit tracker. So
mm-hmm.
what in fact you have is, first of all, coachings like morning, afternoon, and evening audio files that help you. It's like 2 minute short audio files and now video files to improve different parts of your life. Drug challenges if you want to quit smoking, start running, and like
Mm-hmm.
basically just a different concept of the product. It makes it so hard for us to uh, like find good competitors to even run for their keywords, because like
Yeah.
people who are looking for meditation app, they will go and download the meditation app. People who look for yoga application, they will do and find a yoga application. But yeah, we are about routines and coaching. And yeah, guys, if you're
Oh,
looking for application, you know where to, like, you know now what is the right one.
yeah. Search for fabulous. Don't tap on. Okay. Don't tap on the ad. If you're gonna get the app,
Please
just
don't
tap on
tap.
the. Don't waste Natalie's money, okay? All right. Hey, Natalie, I want to talk about a couple of things with you. So these new screenshots, I love them, and I think these are kind of new from what I can remember, having always seen your guys' app. Talk to me about this. Is this part of the app itself, or is this some of the messaging that you guys have used? And it seems more like playful, I guess is the right word for the brand style that you guys are going for. So have you guys A/B tested these screenshots at all?
We are currently doing more and more PPO and CPO, yeah, like product page optimization and custom product pages. Okay, basically, you are now seeing a custom product page. Like this one is a custom product page. Like
Okay.
surprise, surprise. So it's
Hey,
playful.
Natalie,
Like, yep, I'm here.
you don't need a. We can hear you just fine. Actually, I think it makes it worse if you hold the mic. You can let it go. We
Okay,
actually hear you just fine.
I'll
Yeah,
let it
there you go.
go. Let it
Perfect.
go. I don't wanna. Yes, I let it go. So the screenshots are actually rather, as you said, playful. They are do not ideally and exactly showcase an interface, but you can find exactly same images within the application. That's why it's okay to pass the review, because a different part of policies, your screenshots have to reflect what's inside application. So this is what I would call like gray hat stuff, because that's not the interface itself, but it is inside the app in for different parts of challenges and content you have inside it. And honestly, like it is delivering really, comparing to standard screenshots with app interface, it just performs way better, because it's very like structured, and it gives you additional reward. Like for example, self-care, when you don't have time to spare and you have 6 activities what you can do. And this is why people love it, and this is why people basically click on it.
Mm, I like it. All right, just to summarize, because people are having problems hearing you. I was asking Natalie about these screenshots, and I said it's more playful. She said these are doing a little bit better. This is sort of the white hat ASO strategies that you guys can use, and you can use that through Apple's PPO, which is essentially product page optimization. What kind of now, some of the things I want to get into, any black hat ASO strategies worth doing. You talk about using them in the metadata, maybe even having them in the Google Play, like long description. I've seen a lot of people do that. They'd be like, hey, if you like this, or if you got rejected by this, blah, 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 you put your competitor's brand in there. But what are some other things that you guys can talk about? And maybe the question that I'll just talk about with you is like these keyword boost campaigns. They have different names: keyword installs, keyword boost. You talked about this, like keyword optimization. Maybe they're talking about, like, have you have any experience with those?
Uh, just a few words before about keyword stuffing. It's
Okay.
more for, as you said, Google Play. And usually it doesn't work because you get a notification or a release rejection. And even if you use, very likely you will not rank high for them. The other, so here we have also two different things. One, when we use other brands keywords, and many people just use big brands. Like, you can share content from my application on WhatsApp, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Twitch, and so. But
Yep.
honestly, now you will not rank high for those keywords. What's
Mhm.
the point of like mediocre application to be ranked top two for application WhatsApp? Like almost none, because the first couple of points will be like Google search, Google results, then some
Yep.
WhatsApp itself, and it just doesn't work. The other thing that works better is keyword stuffing. When you use the same keyword many times in many combinations. One of the example I found recently was hashtag. So the person really wanted to rank high for the keyword hashtag. So what they did, like, you can have animal hashtag, seasonal hashtag, holiday
Mm.
hashtag, and it doesn't create a good user experience. And if someone's read it, it doesn't feel like really good. If I'm not mistaken, like there, you can. I don't know. Let's go to Tagify,
Tagify, what
the
number
second
am
one.
I missing? Oh, this one? Oh, good.
Second,
Okay. 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 There. And then,
and try to go to the long description.
oh, hashtags.
So apparently it works because they are second, but I don't think if this exactly was the reason why they are so high. Maybe because
Mm.
they have it in their title as well. So Tagify hashtags
Mhm.
for Instagram. And this is, again, we have here Instagram in her title, but in this case, it's
Mhm.
okay because we specify that's a specific feature for a specific application.
I see. I see. So you're thinking, so there's a recommendation to not keyword stuff, like it'll hurt you, or is this something that you think would the audience can start utilizing?
I do not say, I say it's up to you because it may work, it may not. Uh, if you use them like at least good, they have good formatting, like proper way to write it down. The worse it when it doesn't look nice only or editing or formatted. Then it gets
Yeah.
worse. In this case, so it's not the best practice, but you can play around with this. Uh, Again, it goes against the policies because you have over density with one specific keyword, but it may work if you have, like here they try to explain, like they have animal, social, people, holiday. So at least
Yeah.
they have like some pros and cons and arguments with a Google reviewer. But if it's just like with hashtags, and one more hashtag, well, not gonna work. One funny case, especially again with Google Play, it's from Plenty of Fish application, which is a dating app.
Mm.
So in their long description, they state, "We are Plenty of Fish, part of the Match Group, the company that also has Tinder, Match.com, and a couple of other dating apps." So that's actually an example of black hat. You can go like and search Plenty of Fish.
I'll do it right now.
And like in their long
Right here.
description, it's gonna be, yeah.
Happy fishing. POF is part of that. Yep. That's awesome. That's funny. I like that.
I mean, again, this is not black hat because it's true. But
Yeah.
for example, Bumble has not tried it because they are not part of the Match Group. I mean, they can say, "We are Bumble. We are not part of the Match Group who owns Tinder, Plenty of Fish, and other applications." So people
Right.
become very inventive. And again, like adding a keyword once in the long description does not actually help to influence keyword results by a lot. Your
Yeah.
title and like short description is way more important. And for Google,
Mhm.
something which is also super important is like, what are other applications people download together with this? So like normally, I don't know, I
Yeah.
don't remember the statistics, but if I'm not mistaken, an average dating app user has 3 applications, like 3 dating apps. Like, so statistically speaking, they try to leverage the risks. And also the system knows better, like which applications should be recommended as well.
Right. I think with certain categories like dating and maybe others that you guys can think of where there are people like you're going to download multiple apps in that category, unlike like maybe a fitness app. It is worth it to maybe go after these brand terms and try to up number 2 or 3 on for Tinder. We have seen that play out for depending on the category, but for most of the time, I would say you don't get too many downloads from being number like for one of our clients, we're number 2 for a big competitor of his, and you can look into the Google Play data. We don't get that many downloads from being number 2 for that particular term. So it depends on the real category. But for other categories, we do actually get good downloads from our competitors' terms.
And
Okay, I want to go
honestly,
into
yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
before like that, something like I don't like to consider only being ranked number 2 or 3 for a certain keyword because, especially on Google Play, where right now there are 3 premium options, like for
Mm,
Google Ads, and there is also
yeah,
similar apps. So it's always good idea to check on your phone, on your Android phone, for certain country. So like I have US storefront, because if you rank number 2 for keyword motivation, you're not visible almost at all because there is
yeah,
an application which is called motivation, which occupies the brand result, like on Google Play when you have the result with screenshots. Then there is similar apps collection. Then there is recommended for you like ads collection, and only
yeah,
oh, and only then very likely you're gonna be able to see their competitor. So
yeah.
just I'll try to check. And like as I said, recently Google added 3 premium placements per standard keywords. It's like it's getting more and more hard to find somebody organically at all.
I'm trying to pull up my Google phone and let's see if it works. Oh, there you go. So I'll try to do this. But Natalie, we do have a question from Tim Omer. So you said motivation. I'll try motivation first. Motivation. Let's put motivation app. Let's try that. And so I know what you're talking about, and I've seen the 3 ads. So this is just one, but let's try just motivation. And maybe we can get it. And maybe meditation might be a better one where we can get into. Yeah,
Oh,
so here, whoops.
this is exactly what I was talking
This
about.
is it. Yeah, yeah, this is it. Here it goes. So you got
So
this, but then you got a bunch of ads. Yeah. And sorry, Natalie. So I think, you correct me, jump in when you're on, when you're like, Steve, no, that's not what I meant. But like, as you can see, like number 2 doesn't mean diddly squat for this particular term because of the UI UX change. Like number 1, most of it's going there. And then all the ads that Google is presenting there too. So yeah. All right. Let's say hi to a few people. What's up, Samuel? You're a little late. So you're penalized. And then what's up, Kev? You're there. Okay. And then we got Timur who says, T Hormir. So I totally butchered your name. Hey, can you give us some info on Black Hat review strategies and incentivized installs? So we're kind of talking about that a little bit, Natalie, but you want to go into some of your experience with that stuff? And look, full disclosure, Natalie said it from the top, but Fabulous does not partake in any of these Black Hat ASO strategies. Okay. So just want to make sure we got that out there. All right, Natalie, on to you, my friend.
yeah, so the point is like the first part we discussed is I call it free Black Hat ASO because you do it with your own
Mhm.
metadata. You don't pay anything to anyone. You just try and it works, hooray. If it doesn't, you go for something else. If it works but you get punished, again, this is Black Hat ASO, you should be aware of risk of being punished. When it comes to the other part, which is actually you pay someone to fake the algorithm or kind of crack it, uh, let's go it one by one. So when it comes to motivated installs, there are 2 reasons why people do it. First is super vanity one. Is but people want to become top, appear in top applications, so top chart. You just have a lot of bots. Basically, usually those are just devices without real people behind them who download your app, create a wave kind of virality. So your app appears in top chart either in your category, which is the easier one, or overall in the country, which is hard to beat because that means a lot of installs. Usually it means a lot of money. And why I say it's vanity? Because not that many people actually check this part of like the interface. Like if you do like the user journey, like on App Store, people go to, they start with their homepage and top charts appear like then. Like very likely if a user is motivated, they're gonna go for search results. And even the search results are also kind of polluted with Apple editorial stories and featurings, so which is not that nice. And on Google Play, you need like if you go if you rank top like overall, it may have some impact. But
Mm.
usually people are not actually going like top chart category entertainment. People just go, for example, to what they want to find. Like oh yeah,
Hmm.
you're seeing motivation as well. Oh yeah, they have the purchases and everything you need.
Yeah. So really not that great being number two for this keyword either.
Yeah, so like again, like stores do everything to be monetized hard to make sure they have all the revenue. And they know how to do it
Mhm.
well because they created the stores themselves. So they know exactly which placement people are interested in. Uh, but speaking about the overall, like getting to the top charts, it's a good thing if you want to show it to your investors or to your boss, say like we are in the top five. But if you have only installs and you pay for them, and sometimes it's not very easy, especially like in like top Taiwan countries. So question is, will this boost in organic overpay like how much money you're gonna pay for becoming the first one? If you have some super cool algorithm and super cool bot farm that does it for free, then go for it. But most services, like they charge and they charge a lot. So the question is why you should do it? Like not that really. If I'm not mistaken, there was even an article from Feature about the impact of getting to the top charts, and spoiler alert, almost nothing. So actually, the cost benefit value is not that important. And like the whole like my second part, when you pay for Black Hat ASO, you should like consider yourself not an ASO practitioner but a user acquisition manager, because now you have an investment and you need to calculate return on investment. And this is why you need to see like I'm investing 10,000 in keyword boosting. So question number two, what's the potential like change in revenue that's going to happen? Have I chosen the right keyword? Or we do not keyword boosting but get into the top rankings and becoming more and more specific with your like deeds. Uh, why I don't like Black Hat ASO? Because both most of those practices exist, but as stores are becoming more and more monetized to themselves through Google Ads and Apple Ads, it makes less sense to pay some shady company, have shady results with no analytics, and potentially be punished. One important thing, if Apple notices that you are using keyword boosting, you can lose completely the results for this keyword for 60 or 90 days. It happens to developers. So again, it's about keyword velocity. It's about the velocity and like if it's a spike, and then like for example there is no retention, again, you
Hmm.
may say there are companies that do install plus retention, and I will tell you, it costs more money. So again, the question is it worth doing this? So when you are on the black hat ground, you can do activities, but you actually need to measure them and be super practical. Like for example, we can give you installs $1 each for keyword puzzle game, and you will be like, and we assume that you're going to change from position 355 to the top 8, and then like you know that it's going to last for a week or two, and you have to be super specific in measuring the impact. Do you receive more installs? Do you receive more proceeds coming from those installs? And of course you also need to have good analytics, because
Yeah.
if you depend on different multiple inner purchases that and but you do not have a good LTV projection strategy, that you may not know if you're actually becoming profitable in the long run or not. uh, the other thing many companies do it, like Black Hat ASO just because of vanity, because they are big companies and they don't want other big companies to take over their keywords. I don't have that much money. My company doesn't have that money. Like, and honestly, I don't care. If you can waste money, it's your money, waste them. I want to have good results for like organically, and usually it works. Again, why? Because now it's good that our niche is very, very narrow, because there are so many meditation apps, so many fitness apps, but there are not that many applications that are for routines and habits.
Yep. I like it. Hey, Natalie, I'm coming. So, a couple of things I'll summarize too. I don't think in the end, you tell me if you agree with this, but I don't think it's worth it anymore. We've done a few things on our end for our own apps. I always try to be a practitioner when that's why I have my own apps and try different things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We actually saw for one of our apps where this company, and I won't put them on blast, but guarantee that we'd be number one. And I was like, what you talked about, I was like, this velocity is too much, right? Like we're going from a handful, like 2 to 3 downloads a day to then 2,000 a day. Like what happened, Natalie? We were ranking like maybe in the 30s for this keyword. We unindexed. Apple said, nope, you're gone. And so and it was, and I'll be full disclosure, it was like $2,000 for this campaign. Now, I would rather spend that 2000 on Apple search ads or Google ads, right? I would rather spend that because I feel like with the app stuff, like it's like any other business. You have to think about it as a funnel. Like how many people can you attract? How many people can you convert? And then you have some metrics that you can play around with. And the companies that I've worked with that have this funnel just locked, they're just so much fun. They just know all their numbers to work with. So I know like I can go out and get a cost per install for $3. Some companies is $5, some companies $8 because their lifetime value is so high. So I'm kind of thinking like right now, I was a big proponent because what you said, big companies do it. And I'm surprised by like what, you guys do this? No way, right? Like the level of the bigness of the bigness of a company, and they still run it. But so I was like to the indie, like maybe it is worth it, but I'm feeling like these days I rather run it on search ads. I rather run it on Google ads where I know the downloads are probably going to be legit and actually might turn into revenue for me if my funnel is good. Is that sort of how you would see things too?
Yeah, because like I'm for me, user acquisition is unique. There is no paid and
Yeah.
organic just because they are so connected. And even when you
Yeah.
like measure organic results, I always try to think about revenue. And what I love about revenue, I love when revenue is tracked properly and measured. And with Black Hat ASO, it's not usually possible because like the companies like that were trying to offer me those services, they tell you can calculate uplift for our keyword, but guys, I'm ranking for 300 keywords.
Yeah.
Do you think that your uplift from position top 7 to position top 3 actually helped me to become like like make a big difference when I have so much traffic coming from other keywords? It's also about statistical significance. I mean, if you have nothing and then you have something, maybe you are able to observe the difference. But if you are a medium company that has at least, I don't know, 200 installs per day, like from search results, like the velocity, like you need to be ranked super high for a super popular keyword to see the difference.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
if you are choosing keyword with popularity score around like 30 and you're getting from nothing to top 3, you may not even notice it. Like the
Yeah.
other thing with boosting keywords, when we discussed this topic, we need to like if somebody still wants to do it, choose a good one. Why do I mean by that? Don't choose your competitors, because if somebody is searching for a competitor, they will search for a competitor. Like if somebody is going for headspace, they are not going for sleep booster,
Mm-hmm.
fabulous, or anything else. Then you
Mm-hmm.
have to be generic. But the problem with generic keywords, there are not that many generic keywords that you can go after, because every
Yeah.
niche is very like people are not inventive when they do search on Apple search or Google search on the App Store. People are inventive in their Google results on the web, where you have super long tail keywords for 9 words. Why the sky is blue when moon is red, like for example. While auto suggest on Google Play and App Store actually limits the amount of words. And that's why like you need to be scientific and very methodological in your approach to choosing it. And still, in most cases, you will not find statistical significance.
Yeah.
So, like, if you want to waste money, please go for it. But that's not my type of fund.
Yeah. I like it.
Uh,
I like it.
uh,
All right.
I still have about reviews. Previous person asked about it, and I see like this also very popular thing. People like when you have a rating, the easy to go solution is going by reviews, right?
Right.
It's bad. Why it's bad? Because actually Google and Apple are getting better and noticing the reviews, especially the reviews. So especially ratings. So
Mm,
they care about rating velocity, download velocity, and then if something changes, especially when there is no release, and then your rating was 2.2 and it accidentally becomes 4.9, very likely their team will pay a closer attention, and you know what, they're going to be deleted, and all the money that you paid will be lost in vain.
mm,
uh, I had a case. I worked with a client, and they spent kind of a lot of money. They told me how much reviews and ratings they bought. I simply went to console and I realized that they have 60% less data in their actual numbers than they bought. It means Apple or Google deleted most of those things.
yep.
So if you are
Yep.
paying, it appears for a day, for a week, maybe for a month, but after 6 months, most of them are gone,
Yep.
especially when it comes to ratings, because they are way easier to identify. If somebody writes, then their team kind of thinks maybe that's a real person, but I will tell you also how they delete those reviews as well. But with ratings, like it's short-term solution for a bigger problem.
Yeah, I like it. I've seen the same thing. So just to summarize, what Google, Apple are getting really smart if you buy these ratings and then deleting a lot of them. And so just don't do it anymore. So there was a question in here. There's a lot of questions. I don't think we're gonna have you back, Natalie, when you're not on vacation. But okay, here's Evelyn asks, what if I ask my friends to submit reviews instead of buying in bulk? And my friend submitted the review without opening the app and it got blocked later. Any recommendations? So I think she's saying her friend submitted the review without opening the app, but then it later got deleted. So that's probably why it got deleted. If she didn't open it and she just sort of hit submit and put that rating in there.
So especially on Google Play, you have much more data because in the Play
Mm,
console, you have information. What is the version of the app? What is the version of operational system? What is the mobile carrier? What's the country? And
wow.
if the person clicks download without downloading and automatically gives you 5 stars and writes the reviews, the system will not have the information about the app version because the application was not fully downloaded and installed on your phone. And those type of reviews are like more suspicious to Google algorithm. uh, so again, if you have friends who can rate your application, ask them not only to rate but also to use them. So you will have good user feedback. What's wrong, and only then ask them for a good review. So asking friends for review is not considered as a black hat technique because those are real people and they are leaving a review for your application. You do not pay them until you buy some coffee or something like this. Uh, but generally speaking, like it's more like I don't think you have 100,000 friends. Like maybe you have, maybe you're a lucky person,
Yeah.
but generally a couple of reviews do not change the whole picture.
Yeah. Maybe you just want to get like potentially if you don't have that many, that would make a big impact. But if you're a medium size or even a bigger app, one or two is not going to make a difference. All right. How are we on time, Natalie? I know you're on vacation, but can we go a little bit over?
Yes, I'm super
Okay.
happy, and if
Okay.
my internet doesn't suck and if you can hear me well, as long as I can, I'm here and I'm yours.
Okay. All right. Well, let's end part one. I know there's some questions. We'll get it to them in part two. And so if you're listening to the podcast, make sure you join us for part two. And then if you guys are here, we're going to go into it. But Natalie, I like to start off every part two with some dad jokes. And I've actually got a little bit of graphics that I will pull up. Let me see if I can find them. So we've got this. Here we go. Let's Okay, that didn't go off as much as I like to, and that was. All right, Natalie, do you want do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first for dad joke round?
Oh, 1 second. You go first.
Okay, so we'll play for something. Put it in the comments, and I will get to everything. But put in the comments S if you thought my joke was better. Put N if you thought Natalie's joke was better. Natalie, how can you tell which one of your friends has the new iPhone 13? How do you tell which one of your friends has the new iPhone 13?
The
So hold on.
one, my answer is the
Yes.
one who has a lot of happiness in their eyes, but no new clothes.
I like that. That's a good one. Well, the correct answer is don't worry, they'll let you know. Okay. All right, Natalie, your turn.
Okay, my question is, how do you know if someone is getting featured this week?
Oh, okay. I like that. We're both going iPhone. How do you know if someone's getting featured this week? How do you know? What's the answer, Natalie?
You don't know?
No, I don't know. I'm not gonna even guess. I'm not even try. I'm not
No,
as
you
brave
guess.
as you. No.
They won't let you know until they're featured.
That is an inside Apple joke, okay? You know, I love it because it is so true. People get so excited. Oh my God, Apple wants to feature us, submit all the artwork, and then you wait months and it's just crickets. Doo, 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 doo. And then finally, they don't even tell you. You see it like 2 months, 3 months later, you get featured. So I always tell people don't get too excited when Apple emails you. It's going to take a while. All right, put N or S. Natalie, you're a couple of votes are coming in for you already. So, oh my God, it's a clean sweep. I've only lost once, but it looks like you might beat me in this one. All right, guys. So let's take a look at the audience's app. If you want us to take a look at your app, all you got to do is go to appmasters.com/audit. And there's that fancy little thing, appmasters.com/audit. We've got Florian's app that we'll take a look at. I will pull it up. I think I'm not sure if, okay. So I don't know if it's a male or female. Sorry. I think it's female, probably Florian. Oh, okay. We'll try it. All right, Florian. So it's a game app. And then Florian says, because we're talking about ASO, I just focused a lot more on the ASO side of things. But I would like to know what an ASO expert can tell me about how to further improve my store page and maybe also improve App Store retention. So, Natalie, look at this beautiful cafe that she's walking us through. But let's take a look at the app. I'll start off as she gets situated. So, I think the screenshots are good. I don't know if there's a video, but I think there's too many words, and you're sort of like two simple rules. First, islands see a number of ships, and then don't place ships next to each other. I don't know. Two simple rules. I don't know what that even means, but okay. I don't. I'd rather you show the game. So if it's a logic puzzle, like maybe even play up the logic puzzle piece of things. Logic puzzle is a very competitive keyword. We work with one client. We're able to get them to number one using a bunch of different strategies. But now I feel like it's super competitive. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to figure out what the game actually is based on your screenshots. Is my first thing. What do you think, Natalie?
So honestly, like I took a look at this application, and the screenshots are boring. I mean, just
I
being
love it.
like super
I love it.
straightforward.
Please.
You
Yes.
have very similar background of every screenshot. The text is hard to read. There's a lot of
Mhm.
text, and when it was the first time I looked at screenshots, I know it's my fault, but I didn't even realize there are different pictures on first three screenshots because those the same numbers,
Mhm.
but the map is only getting more open, but it still
Mhm.
doesn't make me feel excited about this game. So if when people search for it on the results, the person usually sees three screenshots and they are not excited. They do not tell a story. It's not dynamic. It's not easy to read. And actually, it looks almost in the same style as the icon. So icon has to be kind of clickable thing, because like
Right.
icon is something that like first of all you have to notice it, and secondly you need to remind it on your phone that oh this is a cool game, so you have higher retention. In this case it has
Mhm.
too many details, and I see there is this preview which is good, but if I'm not mistaken it is very like it's very
Yeah.
wide, and it's again in the same style and not very dynamic.
Mhm.
My I like so it, when it comes to conversion rate optimization, uh, like use some Hollywood drama, make it more excited, make it
Yeah.
more dynamic. I mean, this is about ships and battles. I mean, what can be more dramatic than battles on ships? Like
Mhm.
Pirates of the Caribbean? Like, I don't know, just make it more, even though it's a logic game, and logic games have to like not be about emotions, but about your brain, still, you can, like, if you do not create any strong emotions in people's hearts, they will not want to click it. So this is something I call desirability. People have to
Mhm.
desire to download, try, and click. So a conversion rate optimization, make icon cleaner, because like from the like if you look at it comparing to other icons, it's very about nothing, like very blurry, and screenshots are very similar to
Mhm.
each other. Uh, but other than that, like it's good. Like colors are nice. They're like present clearly what the game is about. Make it more dynamic.
Yeah. I agree. And look, if you look in the description, Florian, he says that it's Minesweeper meets Sudoku. Like kind of call that out if that's what it is. Then we kind of understand. Oh, okay, I know how to play. I've actually never played Minesweeper, but okay, I get Minesweeper. I've heard of that, and I've heard of Sudoku. Cool. Like that is more indicative of what this app is versus two simple rules. First, island sea a number of ships. I don't even know what that even means. Second, don't place next to ships next to each other. I still don't know what that means either. And then I would say, I don't know if they're a designer because then we might offend the person, but like, yeah, the colors are kind of hard to read too. And this feels very like, I don't know, 1998. I don't know when I was in high school. All these like embedded, this like Photoshop thing. I don't really like that. So I think you can clean that up a little bit
I mean,
too.
you can
But
translate it into, you can make it into a feature. I mean, make it as bad so it actually was good. It's like this type of
yeah.
people who love to play Heroes. Like Heroes was the game back in the like beginning of 2000, but it's popular now with all the pixel stuff. But again, you have to decide
Mm-hmm.
for yourself what's your strategy and stick to it. In the current case, like screenshots with less text and more action, like place like and general idea, which is like commonly used, add calls to action, play,
Mm-hmm.
explore, learn, uh, I don't know, surprise. And
Right.
when it comes to conversion rate, you're doing a great job showcasing the app, but you are too much showcasing the app. So you have to a little bit go closer to being salesy, but not too salesy. Because if you're too
Yeah.
salesy, that's
Yeah.
not using the app interface, and then it's a rejection of your app version. Not nice.
Love it. Yeah, and I like what Natalie said about like the Hollywood feel, Florian, of these video. Like maybe have some text because we're not all right now. It's hard to really fully understand what's happening in this video, and so maybe have some text that kind of explain it. You say solitaire, logic puzzle, and then you say Minesweeper and Sudoku. Which one is it? Like I don't know if you Minesweeper meets Sudoku. I add that to the screenshots and into the video. The other thing I want to say is use those keywords in your Spanish Mexico subtitle and title. Like those become more. I mean, they're good keywords, but they're probably super competitive given the download velocity you have. But those might be keywords that I would go after from an ASO perspective. For a game like this, I think it is hard for ASO. I would try search ads. We actually help one of our clients with that was like a Minesweeper meets something else too, and it was hard to get ASA going. So I think for an app like games, the way I feel about this, Natalie, is games it's harder because no one's, unless it's like logic puzzles and Minesweeper and Solitaire, and those are all competitive keywords. Like nobody's really searching for this type of game. So to attract the right users, you almost have to rely on like paid channels. What do you think from an ASO perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you because there are a lot of applications already on the market, so it's hard to stand out. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
either find a very niche keyword that is peculiar to your one, like I don't know, ship plus puzzles, or like something which is just for you, which will stand out from other puzzle games. And
Right.
so on one hand, on the other hand, it's also like actually relying on paid. But when you rely on paid, you have to be sure that your app has higher LTV that the cost you're gonna invest in that. So which is always hard.
Yeah.
So the biggest problem of the app world right now is that it's getting harder and harder to actually start if you're an indie person. Your application has to be so different from the others, and there has to be kind of niche for it, and you should have good LTV to invest more in paid. I mean, I do not sound optimistic, but things are as they are. How would I see them?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. And I think from an ASO perspective, I heard it from a friend. I'll say it that way. Heard it from a friend. Here's the way I like to think about ASO for games. And this did actually work according to a friend. Okay. All right. So what you want to do is think about older games that might be indicative of your game. So I put Battleship for as an example, right? Because you have ship stuff. And if you can see, there's no real battleship. It's a board game that's very popular, but there's no real like battleship per se, except this one that's a paid one. So think about keywords like that, and then talking about the keyword boost stuff. So heard it through a friend like this. We were able to find that it had pretty decent traffic, like somewhere in the 30s or 40s, and then very low difficulty. And then using some of these boost campaigns, we're able to get it to number one. And then it did drive downloads. So it does work sometimes. I know we talked about possibly not working, but it really depends on the keyword. Is it relevant? Does it have low competition? Could you, as a new app, make it work and make it fit? And we did have from a friend, it worked for that too. So that's how I would probably think about ASO in that regard.
Yeah,
Right now,
completely
anything else you
agree.
want to add before we get into the app?
No, like I completely agree with you. Like what I said about like keyword boosting. You have to choose it smart. If you decide to go with it, choose it wisely.
Yep. Yep. Love it. Okay. So I'm gonna hit don't allow because I don't. All right. It's a lot of words, but okay, sounds good. I agree. Yeah, I would say the designs need a lot of help, Florian. Kind of like what Natalie said in the very beginning too. I don't know how you feel about this, Natalie, but I think I really do this too. But a lot of what we've seen from a data perspective that people tend to buy during the onboarding experience too. I don't know about games, but I've been kind of promoting more, making a bigger push to try to get people to pay or do something in the app that they show that they're invested. I think that people who pay will actually increase your retention too. But that's just a philosophy. I don't have enough experience on games to say yes, you should do it this way. But let's try to play the game. So feel free to jump in anytime. When the arrow is displayed in the bottom right hand corner, tapping it will take you further. Okay. So that was hard to see, Florian. Like I'm on iPhone, my older iPhone 7 Plus, but like that's hard to see. Somewhere in the empty fields, ships are hidden. You win by finding all the ships. Okay, it's kind of like Minesweeper, I think. Wherever there are no ships, there is sea. Each island shows how many ships it sees horizontally. Oh, got it, got it. Yeah, that is Minesweeper. Ships may not be placed next to each other, not even diagonally.
The first thing I noticed, you have to read a lot, and the arrow
Yeah,
is very very small.
yeah, I agree. And you want to play and teach at the same time. You look at any game, right? Like Clash of Clans that take a little bit more time to learn. It's always playing and learning at the same time versus this is just reading. So nobody wants to read. I'll run class then read. But yeah, so that's what I would focus on too. I think games is so hard to get retention right.
It's so hard to
In the
educate about it.
Yeah, in the future, what I always say to game people, like especially if it's your first game, like put a very like think about Voodoo, right? They've and Ketchup. They built a very big business. And what they ask developers do if you want to get published by them is have a very minimal gameplay, like no designs, no nothing. If your gameplay is good, they launch it, they see tricks, people like it, and you 50 to 70. So don't quote me on these retention, but if they meet these retention metrics, then they're like, okay, we'll publish that. Then you can add more stuff to it. But if the retention's not good, then like you're building so many features, you're doing all these things, and yet it's so hard to it's a very hard puzzle to solve, in my opinion. All right. So I don't know if I can help you out with retention. It's level design, everything. But I think the first time user experience, I didn't really enjoy it. I'm probably not coming back, Florian. I would say let me read, but let me play at the same time. Don't just make me read chapters and chapters. I listen to audiobooks. I don't read. Go
Exactly.
ahead.
What I feel like is add more storytelling. I don't know, like, again, it's about investing more time, money, and resources into it. But people don't like why people like gardenscapes and something like of that type, because there is a story about it, because there is a lady searching for something, because there is a house that needs to be cleaned. In this case, I do not see anything. I just see ships and text, and
Yeah.
I do not have why I'm going to do this. Like, so again, being super brutal and honest. I have to be super bored to play this game because I'm not excited. Something the same with the screenshots.
I like it.
Make me excited about downloading the game. Make me excited about trying to play and actually invest my brain cell working into realizing how this game works.
I love it. Natalie, you're the best guest I've had. Most people are so, like nice about it. And I'm usually brutally honest too. Okay. I do want to, Florian, hope that was helpful. Keep us posted. If we have done an audit, just keep me posted, guys. We're just trying to help out. So if you made some changes and helped out, let me know. If you made some did not help out, let me know for that too. Got a question from Thomas Natalie that I want your take on. What is the biggest factor that the algorithm uses to rank apps? Is it App Store listing conversion rate? Is it revenues? Is it keyword besides keyword optimization? What else do you think factors into the algorithm?
Honestly, again, brutally honest, I don't know. I do not work for Apple, I do not work for Google, and they will not tell me. Because if they told me, I wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be in the Maldives drinking cocktails and enjoying my best life. What I think, especially Apple's care a lot, is revenue. At least when it comes to featuring, they always feature applications that have drive a lot of revenue for them. This is for sure when it comes to featuring. The more money you make, the better monetization metrics you have compared to your peer group, like education versus meditation versus whatever else, the more you'll receive emails we want to feature you. When it comes to keyword rankings, there are some keywords for which terrible applications from the beginning of 2010s are still in top one. There are keywords for which every new month there is a new application in top one. What I think is a good practice is having the most relevant stuff in your title, and two, making sure it's relevant. Like if you are a social casino and if you put gambling in your title, it's not going to work, because gambling as a term is used for applications that deal with real money. Even though you feel like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's a fancy keyword, a lot of like high score and kind of relative to our topic, but its core meaning is not. Because if people
Yep.
want to play for money, they want to play for money, they are bored of social casinos. The same applies to Fabulous. If I put meditation in my title, very likely I will not be ranked top one. Why? Because we have meditation feature, but it's not the main feature of the app. So try to find something which actually describes your application or game, and it's going to help rank higher. And when it gets to technicalities, Of course, conversion rate is very important. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any black hat ASO techniques trying to sell you keyword boosting, retention day one, and review. But no one knows
Yeah.
exactly how it looks like. So if you see a person that tells you, I cracked the code, I know how it works, and they make no money, like very likely they do not break any codes.
Yeah. I like it. I'm glad you said the revenue piece. We actually have some data that I talked about in a previous video that kind of breaks down, like we saw similar things with the revenue being a key part. Not a key, like maybe the biggest factor, but one of the factors that play into it. All right, Tihomir trying. He says, do you have any tips regarding, I'm really curious about this, regarding the Apple App Store events for apps from keyword rankings or even conversion rates? Have you guys utilized any in-app events for
Answer
Fabulous?
is we don't use, and I already feel sorry we don't use because in-app
Mm,
events names are indexed. And the good part, in Fabulous, we actually have in-app events that we can promote. And
mm-hmm.
so at the same time, if keywords are indexed, you can also, if you're working with influencer marketing, it can like, and if you want to sell peculiar challenge within your application or game, then this is a good way because you can send users directly to a peculiar page within your application. Um, so answering your question again, it helps to gain more traffic, especially in the first months after launch. It helped
Mm-hmm.
to gain it by a lot. Two, it's heavily used by games when they run like big promotions, new skins, or like some big updates. It plays vital role both in Apple and Google, because and there is, even if I'm not mistaken, an event section like where you have all the events collected. However, it cannot substitute a good application itself. So, I mean, it's used, and one other important thing, Apple team is getting more and more picky. And if you actually don't have in-app event happening or any big major update that's happening, very likely you will not pass your review. So, like at the
Yeah.
beginning, when there was no one, like it was easier to get through. But now, if you're promoting something that has been here for a long time, like very likely you will not pass.
Yeah. From our experience working with a couple of different clients, I think what we found is in the beginning, it was super easy to get it approved. They actually rejected a few things, and we're like, what the hell? Because you have to pick new season or the type of an app event it is. So I would try to find one that is appropriate. So, like, you see new season here. And then I think if it ties in with a certain, like this month is mental health awareness month, right? And I think the keyword volume is probably for this particular month. But if you look at the search results for this, and I just put in mental health. If you just put in mental health, you'll find that this is the second one. So, right. And like, okay, I'm going to tap this. And so what you're seeing is all the results have, despite the fact that I don't have any of these on my phone, right? All have mental health awareness month in the title of their in-app event. So you can see that this is what's happening from that end. So it does work. I would try to time it as much as possible. Impact. I think what I think about is it's very easy to create and get it in there. So it's not hard and the impact could be huge. And just there's some timely things I would probably do it too. So okay. Let me all right. Thanks, Natalie. All right, Natalie. I want to redeem myself because you won all of that. I only got one vote. Everybody else voted for you. Let me see. I lost all the votes. I definitely lost all of it. Yeah, look at this. Luke was the
You
only one.
you
Thank
have
you,
one
Luke.
vote.
But everybody else went beside me. I'm not talking to you guys anymore. Samuel, no, not talking to you anymore. It's not talking to anybody. Didn't vote for me. All right, Natalie, you want to go first? You want to go first this round or you want to go second?
Actually, I don't have any more.
All right.
So
Well,
yeah,
I,
I will.
I have one for you.
Okay,
Yeah,
go
you want to
for
think
it.
of one? Okay, you think of one if you can. All right, Natalie, what do you call an iPhone that isn't kidding around? Call an iPhone that is not kidding around. Dead serious. All right, there you go. You got any?
I want I wanted to give a very bad answer to it, so I'm happy I didn't. Sorry.
All right. All right. You got any, or you want to move on? We got Robert's app too. We
No,
can move on to.
no. I
Okay.
think we can move on. Yeah, this time.
Okay. Let's go. Robert, he wants help with keywords, ASO, revenue. All right. There you go. So you got a chores app, cleaning tracker, home manager, chores, and household. 34 ratings, not too bad, 4.3. So we got chores, calendar, split bills, chat, do your chores, collect points for every task. Your Robert, every is misspelled right here. And remember your roommates. Take your grocery list wherever you go, split bills, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it looks like the audience, he seems to know his, ideal avatar is like maybe somebody who's sharing rooms, somebody in their 20s. They're probably messy dudes. So I
And
wouldn't try to
usually those
target
people
them.
don't have much money, so we cannot help with revenue.
And then this is misaligned. I don't know if you wanted to do that on purpose, but grocery list is not, there's an additional space there. But all right, I'm nitpicking here. From a keyword perspective, I think these are the main keywords that you want to be targeting. I know competitive. And so if you're putting chores, depending on the type of app that you're going after, and I'll just kind of pull up some of my favorite ASO tools. But like if you're going after chores, it's more like kid oriented and family, where you're talking about splitting bills, which seems like more roommate oriented. And so like who is chores the right keyword? Because telling a 20 something year old is not thinking about chores, right? Chores is meant for my 13-year-old, my 9-year-old that I have. Not if I was in my 20s, I wouldn't be looking for a chores app here.
The
So
same
I don't know if
applies to
that's the
household.
right keyword.
Like the house, like I feel like the keywords. Okay, so speaking as humans, those words sound right to me, but
Right.
when you search exactly for the results, very likely it's not something you're looking for. So chores, as you
Mhm.
explained, like let's go for chores to see what's inside. Search results,
Yeah.
chores and rewards.
So chores, I got chores, but there's roommate chores, which is interesting. So let's click on that real quick. And then these come up are flat. So it's not your app here, but I'm gonna put in, I don't know, this one, our home. Oh, here you are right here. So roommate chores. Let's see if roommate chores has any traffic. Chores does come up. Roommate, so 36, not too bad. Chores tracker. Another roommate.
I feel
Yeah,
like
chores roommate. It's not a lot of traffic. Yeah, sorry.
household is not the right keyword because
Yeah.
household is such a high register word. It's more like for not billing, but for credit loans or something like this, or
Yeah.
some kind of. It sounds for me very illegal. I don't know, but again, the best thing you can do, like one of my favorite examples, is keyword running versus run, because one of them will have running games while the others will have applications for runners. So the same word we use in everyday life, but how users
Mm-hmm.
search on Google search and Apple search is different. So when you choose keywords, don't only think about the words you use in your everyday life, but actually see who are your closest competitors. I believe they are,
Mm-hmm.
and how you can find them. So like you're seeing showing app follow. I don't know if they have the feature, but on App Tweak, there is the feature
Mm-hmm.
where you can see for which keywords the application ranked in top 3, top 5, top 10.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this actually helps to kind of steal semantic core for other applications, not steal, but to see and to figure out if this is a relevant keyword or not. Because if like you have too many keywords in your title, and uh, I didn't like one, and basically Steve didn't like the other. So like sorry for that. But yeah, so what you have to do, go and on the app store search chores. What you see is like for application for children or for like roommates. Check how.
It's going a little bit crazy. Okay.
And
Something happened to
figure
the
out.
internet.
I'm
Yep. Go
here.
ahead.
Do you still hear me
Yep.
well?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect, perfect. So when choosing, try to make sure that you are using the same keywords that users are searching for this peculiar purpose. I hope it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because with household, there is also like income like applications to track budget. This is the first thing that came to my mind, and this niche is very, very competitive. Like everything that's about fintech right now is booming, and it's going to be super hard to get ranked high for that. Uh,
What was the
so
keyword that you said?
like I was searching for like household something,
Okay,
because
got it.
for me it's connected more to finance, where you have household income. I mean, my economic background is like ringing bell in my head. When you have the keyword household, it's about income and consumption. Uh,
Mhm.
again, actually, let's do a search for household. What we're gonna see?
Yeah. So, I mean, just to close the loop on what Natalie was saying, she said AppTweak, great platform to use. You can put in any of your competitors. Data.ai, you can do this for free. It used to be App Annie. You can put in any app and then see the top keywords that they're ranking. You don't see search volume, so you might have to throw it into somewhere else. But that's another spot where you can see that. And then you want to put household here, Natalie?
Yes, please.
Okay, household. So you get this cozy, sweepy, all that stuff. I think it's too generic in my opinion because like Box, which is like a Costco competitor, comes up. This game comes up in the US. So I personally think, Robert, and you tell me if you got to pick one. Here's what I always say when I see clients doing all this stuff. I look chores app. I can point out a couple of different apps that are doing phenomenally well just doing chores. I can give you a grocery app that's doing phenomenally well just doing groceries. I can give you a calendar app that's doing phenomenally well just doing calendar. Like you don't have to put everything in. If you're trying to be everything to everybody, you're no one to everybody. I don't
To
know
no
what the
one.
right saying is, but you get my saying. Like, you're trying too much. And you say like it's housekeeping, household chores for families, roommates, flatmates. It's like, it's different. If I'm looking for families, that's going to be a different thing than roommates. Like for families, I'm going to give rewards. I'm going to give them allowances based off of what they do. For families, for roommates, it's like, dude, put up your end of the bargain, right? Like, or make it into a fun game, a competition for male dudes, right? Like for women, I might be completely different. I can only speak from a dude perspective. You're trying too much to be everything to everybody. You end up being
So
no
I
one.
believe like this guy, as Ed mates in the comments asking, so which keywords would you suggest? Uh, Again, like ASO does not have to define your overall strategy. You have to see, like from marketing standpoint, define your target audience. You already have your application here, so you know who are people who download, and which is more important, who pay. And then try to invest more in them. That's it.
Yep.
If you see that you have those 5 top features of your app: chores, groceries, calendar, split bills, and chat, figure. So my feeling, nobody's gonna pay for chat. People not gonna pay for calendar. Like,
Yeah.
so you have those three, and figure out
Mm,
what
yep.
actually people like out of this, and
Yeah.
then try to build your story based on that features. Because the more you try to sell at the same time, like this is from behavioral economic standpoint, when you have to choose between two different things, you're more likely to make a choice than when you have 10 different options. People are more likely just to skip and ignore it, just because
Yep.
it's too hard. I need to think about it, and it means that I'll forget about it in 5 minutes, but not choose anything.
Yep.
Being specific and finding the ones who convert and pay. Voila.
Yep. Love it. I love it. Okay. Let's get into the app itself because we're running out of time. We're going long. Natalie's just staying with us, even though she's on vacation. She should be enjoying the French weather, some wine. All right, let's get into the app, Robert. So this is no go. This is the first screen that I see. No go. Like, talk about the main benefits of the app again versus just showing me a screen to do something. I think you should probably show. Now, I could be dead wrong because I've seen some clients where they do something like this, but they have some benefits on top and they see like a 75% conversion rate on this particular screen. But I wouldn't do this if you don't have to. And we do have stats that say if you can show the pricing screen. So the best case scenario is 3 screens kind of talking about the benefits and who your target market is. And it looks like it's like for German roommates, all these features are really important. then talk about that, right? Like go hard on Germany, go into roommate that keyword for that versus like what you've been doing.
Or
But
create
the best,
a special custom product page for your German roommates, so they will see all those features, and for the other
yeah.
people, create a generic one.
I like it. Let's go into it. Let's see what he has for Germany. I think it's DE, right? So maybe this is something related, but I'll figure that out. Okay. So best case scenario, you want to have 3 screens that talk about the benefits on the onboarding screen, hit them with the pricing page, then ask for this sign up. We have a client that we're working with who reported the same exact thing. He saw an increase in conversions for subscriptions after he flipped the two. So the before was sign up and then pricing. They flipped it to pricing, then sign up. And he saw increased conversions by showing pricing first before making users sign up for the app. All right, I'll sign in though. Okay, create a share flat. Whom? What's a German city? Berlin.
You can go for Köln, Hamburg, Munich, so many cities.
I'm sorry. uh, shared flat. Okay. What can say?
It feels like this is the screen you could have shown at the beginning, so people know
Yeah.
exactly what the app is about. So you don't even have to create them, but to move upper in this funnel. I don't know if it makes sense. And look, you have amazing screenshots already. You can add your app store.
Mhm.
It's like kind of recycling of existing visuals. And do you know about what I love about them? They are one screen, one message. Manage tasks,
Mhm.
do the chores, split the
Mhm.
bill. So it's not 5 in 1, but 1 in 1.
Yep. I love it. Love it. Great feedback. Done. Let's take a look at the pricing page because I think that's what's going to really help out. Oh, you don't have the pricing page. So you got to add that, Robert. You got to show the pricing page on that flow. This should be the next thing I see, this page. So looks like 14-day trial for both, for everything. Yep. Have you tested this? I'm curious. The different trial links, Natalie. I feel like 14 days. I have seen clients. I have clients where 14 days actually they're converting really well. I feel like it's a little bit too long, but heck, I'm not going to mess with the numbers. The numbers are saying that it is working. So, but I feel like 7 days is sort of like the norm, and that's what I would typically do is 7 days versus 14.
Yeah, I know a couple of people who do 1 month trial. They go bold,
Mm-hmm.
and most people do 7 day trial. Uh, we like, if I'm not mistaken, Fabulous has 14 day trial for some emails as a promotion. So you can try the
Got
app
it.
not for 7 days but for 14. But normal and default version is actually 7. And something I do not recommend: do not do 3 days trial, because it's more likely that you'll get an app rejection from Apple, because like it there is one of the rejections reasons, your app doesn't have enough value, then you put money for ask for money for it. That's why, like, actually 14 is better than 3, but just 7.
Yeah. What the difference between popular and flatlist plus family? I know the pricing is a little bit different. I have no idea what comes. Look, what you want to do, Robert, is you want to have a longer pricing page. Like, look at our old videos and look at our case studies. We've kind of broke it down, so I don't want to repeat everything. But look at copy this paywall video that we've had, and you can see what has worked in the past. And so, definitely have a longer pricing page in here that breaks down what you get for free and what you have to pay for, FAQs, all that jazz. And rather than doing what you're doing right now. So,
I will be bold. Try testing one price. Why it's good? Because it's either, like, people either pay or don't, and at the same
mhm,
time, it's easy to do all the calculations. If you have only yearly pricing, or only, actually, if it's for students, or like for like like roommates, maybe half a year, like or semester pricing can be good, because
Mhm.
like, so guys, we are here to live for the next 3 months. Let's set all our rules today, and we'll pay for this. So we'll have to stick to them, because when the person pays, like converts into a paying user, they are more likely to stick to the application, because like retention, like payment creates retention sometimes.
Yeah. Right, exactly. And I agree with that too. And that's why you want to sort of push people into paying early on. One thing that you can try too, and I know there's a question in here about this, is because you have ads, Robert, you can create a remove ads in app purchase that is a non consumable, so not subscription. And you don't even have to push it. You can hide it in the settings field right here. And then you can run the app advice campaign by making just that remove ads for free. And for one of our clients, I actually told them to do that because his pricing plan is monthly, yearly, and just remove ads. And so we ran the app advice campaign on just the remove ads. And what happened was people actually ended up buying monthly and yearly. So that's a one way to sort of hack it. Kind of like what Natalie said, when you give them 10 options, they can't decide. When you give them like 2 or 3 options, then users are more likely to decide to. So that's what I would say on that end. And then to that point, yeah, YA asks, "Hey Steve, to do the app advice campaign, do you need to change the pricing in the app's code, or is there a quicker way?" So you can do it within App Store Connect. That's how you change the pricing. For those who are just watching this with app advice, it's like a Groupon for apps. And for subscription-based apps, you have to do a 30-day free trial. That's on one of your plans. So it could be monthly or yearly. And then non-subscription apps. That's why, like for like an in-app purchase, it has to be a non-consumable because that's the only thing that you can make for free within App Store Connect. So hopefully, YA the pricing on your app is dynamic and just pulls from App Store Connect. But if it isn't, we've run it where it still says 199, but if you actually click on it and try to purchase, it is for free. So we've ran it that way too. And there's some people who complain like, oh, it says it's paid still, it's not paid. It's like just go through the whole flow and you'll see it's free. But we have done it that way too. All right. Natalie, anything else that I missed that you want to make sure we covered? I kept you for way too long.
No, it's like you nailed it. When it comes to screenshot and store optimization, be sure that keywords you are using are actually the ones people are using when searching for the application you have, to try to target specific audience. And revenue
Mhm.
optimization, less options and cleaner benefits, not just three different plans without clean distinction between them. And I don't know, that it's just it's just this. At the same time, like something I don't like, don't over test, because if you don't have many users, it's all about statistical significance. If you have many
Mhm.
options and if you test many options, very likely it may lead up to false positive results and doing wrong decisions. That's why, again, engineering tests is important. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, this might be a question that we end with, Natalie, because I know we kind of broke down with, I forgot the person's name, but we looked at Fabulous, and what you guys are doing really well is this web. We kind of looked at your Facebook ads and the Facebook ads library, and we kind of broke down, what we did. We kind of looked at, oh, wow, they're using Facebook ads to send them to the website, and then, getting them people in the ad. So Team Ormware says, how does Apple consider it black hat if you have a SaaS app, but you're using push notifications for non-converted users and you set them to a web checkout versus, the app checkout?
Yes, if you do it, you can be punished. Like Apple does it, like sending people out of their application to pay on the web a lot,
Yeah.
very much. It's even worse in Black Hat ASO techniques for ASO optimization. I mean,
Wow.
you can do it, you can try it, but you may lose featuring connections with Apple, release rejection. Well, one thing, it's worth trying because smaller fees is always a good idea, but the way you present it, the way you show it, it has to be very, very careful. I saw Strava doing upsells using web links, but they stopped doing that. So maybe there was a reason for that. It
Yeah.
was like some kind of week or so. Like I'm a Strava user, so I saw clicking the link, redirecting you out of the application, And then they stopped doing this. I don't know why. I don't work for Strava, but they don't do it anymore. Maybe there was a reason for this.
Interesting. I love it. Once again, it is Fabulous. Just search for Fabulous in the App Store or go to thefabulous.co. All the links are in the description, along with Natalie's LinkedIn profile if you want to connect with her in any way. But Natalie, if the audience wants to follow up with you and say thank you so much for taking a break from your vacation, for coming on and sharing so many great knowledge, do you want to send them anywhere else?
No, just go to LinkedIn. I'm always open to sharing, learning from others, and being brutally honest, and something that what I also expect
I
from
love that.
others. So I'm always open to criticism, even unconstructive criticism. Sorry for a little bit of bad internet connection, but at least together with App Store session, you had chance to look at like one of the streets in one of the
Yeah.
French cities.
I love it. Thank you so much for taking us on your vacation. Natalie, you're going to have to come back. I really want to talk to you about some of that web to app traffic because that was what's really fascinating to me too. But I love this conversation. Guys, thank you guys so much for joining. Next week, we're going to have Taylor from Bloom, and we're going to break down what they've been able to accomplish, some of the Facebook ad strategies, what's been happening since the IDFA stuff. She's really great about Facebook, and I asked her on to talk about that with us. So really great live stream coming up too. Natalie, thank you so much for coming on and doing this. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Have a great vacation. Thank you so much for taking the time and doing this.
Thank you for having me, Steve, today. My pleasure listening to you, participate in the discussion, and doing a bad joke and winning. Okay, I'll put it on my resume if I'm gonna look for a new job one day.
It's a reward. It's a certification. All right, Natalie. Hey, so the game, the Florian with the game that we helped. Thanks, Natalie. You're an awesome advisor. Thank you so much for the feedback. And then Robert loved it too. Thank you for the advice as well. So thank you so much, Natalie. All right.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week, same time. Bye.
Bye bye.